Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Today, the subject we're going to talk about is New Year resolutions. It's very common these days, at the beginning of a new year, to make some promises for yourself. That can be things like, I want to improve my English, or perhaps it's to start a new project or a new vision about something. The truth of the matter is, you can start something new in your life at any moment. You don't have to wait until the new year. But the date in our calendar, the 1st of January, helps us to focus. And it's like an added piece of energy to wash away all of this old stuff that's been building up and to start something new in our lives. Some typical New Year resolutions could be something like, I want to lose weight, I want to eat less sugar, or I want to improve my English. Other New Year resolutions might include going outside more, being more in nature, getting away from the screen for a while, or perhaps renewing or making friendships. Of course, many people, they begin a New Year resolution in January, and then by February it's gone. And in fact, New Year resolutions tend to be broken quite early. One of my New Year resolutions is just to get out more, to leave the house more, to make sure I'm socializing more. I think these things are very important. Sometimes we get into a habit, especially in the winter time, where we don't go out as much. So my New Year resolution is to go out more, perhaps just a little walk twice a week, or something like this at least. Some healthy New Year resolutions regarding learning English could be to make sure you have a language partner. Try as best you can to make space every day to revise English. And more importantly, try to think in English, perhaps for 20 minutes or 30 minutes a day. If you can't manage that, even 5 minutes would be enough to give you the confidence to start with a few very easy sentences. For example, you get up in the morning, you have a look at what you're having for breakfast. Try to speak in English. It'll give you more confidence so that when you come to a teacher, you won't get stuck for words. You'll be a little bit more fluent. Another idea might be just to write for 5 minutes every day, to think to yourself, to write with yourself, anything you can do to bring about a sense of English in your life would be very, very good. And before you do any of this, is just to make sure that you can get yourself relaxed enough to learn. You know, some of us have families, we have busy lives, we're running around doing different things, and the English is kind of on the back burner. So it's very important to bring that forward a little bit, to bring up the energy to get you motivated. You could do that by simply reading a short article in English about someone you admire, or just writing down the reasons why you're learning and just going back again to look over those as a way of motivating yourself. Some people find affirmation cards very useful too. They might have sentences on there that say things like, I can learn English. I will learn English. Today, my English will be successful. and to put them in your wallet or to carry them with you. But whatever you choose to do today, it's very important that you link it in with what's happening in your mind. English should never be something separate from you. It should be something from the core of your being. Language can't exist alone. It needs all of humanity to share it. So if you really feel that you're not getting anywhere and you really feel you need more encouragement, then what you need to do is simply find people to talk with. That's the essence, the core of any language learning. Anything that you can do to bring about a sense of learning and motivation is always going to be good for you. Those of you who listen to this podcast regularly, you'll know that I'm not really in favor of grammar books. A much easier way to learn would simply be to talk, to listen, to repeat. However, grammar books do serve a purpose. It's not because they teach you very much. After all, it's just a list of rules. But when you take one step forward to buy a book, to book a lesson with a teacher, or whatever it is that you spend your money on, that itself brings about a kind of an energy, because the fact that you've invested in it means that your mind is more open to receiving. So more and more you need to be looking at ways to open your mind for learning. Buy the grammar book, book the English lesson, talk to a language partner, watch an English movie, because even if it doesn't have much help in itself, what it will do is it will open you up to the idea of learning, and that's exactly what you want, okay? So even though I don't favor grammar books particularly, I prefer to see people talking, I can understand why people spend money on buying things related to English, because it opens your mind. It gives you a channel through which you can work towards English. Why? Because you've invested in it. You've invested your hard-earned cash, and at that moment of buying, when you feel attracted to it, something's happening in your mind. Something is being a little bit more open. So it's not always just about the information you can get and give. It's also about getting yourself in the mood for that thing. When you move in a different culture and in a different world, it would seem that English sometimes is very, very far away. Let me give you an example of that. So currently, I'm learning Persian as well as Spanish. Now, when I was learning Spanish, it wasn't so bad because I was living in Spain. My mind was being open to seeing all the things around me, which kind of fitted with what I was learning. I started to learn Persian here in the UK, and I didn't have any connection to the language. I didn't know any Iranian people. So it was much harder because I was coming at this very much from an English background. However, buying Persian books, even if I never use them, booking lessons with Iranian teachers, watching Iranian TV opened my mind up to the idea of what I was looking for. It helped me to see the country, to hear the language, and put me more in the mood for learning. And that's what you want to try to aim for this year. Well, that's really all I wanted to say about motivation and New Year resolutions for this coming year. Today is the 1st of January, and I wish you all a very happy New Year. May all your dreams come true, and may all the things that you're wishing for come true also. See you. Bye.